Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist, and this is Lunar Living. Okay, guys, so we have a first quarter moon in Leo, and this is actually a bridge moon. So the first quarter moon, it spans, for the degrees that qualify it as a first quarter moon, it will be spanning 2 days. So it will be May 8th and May 9th. Now, the auspicious thing about this is Pluto went retrograde on April 29th. And I know if you've been following my channel, you know I've been talking about the retrograde season. I've been talking about Pluto retrograde. And the thing about Pluto is when Pluto stations to go retrograde, he stations and remains still in the sky for several days. As he is still in the sky, his energy is building. All the energy from his placements on April 29th build. And I personally have been feeling the buildup. I've been feeling the new aspects that have come in, the energy, the lessons, the shifts, the changes, the upswings, and the downturns. And that's just in this past week. Now, on the 8th is when Pluto begins to move backwards to our perception in the night sky. And that is the official start of Pluto retrograde season. This first quarter moon falling in Leo it starts on the first day that Pluto begins to move backwards. And it is going to cross over into the day after, as well as towards it. I didn't include the card on here, but it starts at 22:36 UT. So that would be 10:36 p.m. Universal Time. I am Central Time, so I would deduct, I believe, 5 hours from that. For daylight time, I believe it's a deduction of 5 hours. So that would put us at, I can do math, 17, which is 5 p.m. The moon shifts into Virgo. This is why it is a bridge moon. It spans 2 days, 2 signs. I didn't do a lot of research into the charts and the aspects. It was a very strong energy that I felt, and what I kept hearing in my head was choo-choo, because we also have the grand conjunction of all the planets. Not all of them, but it feels like all of them. Right now in the sky, we have all of these planets aligning. And when you look at the zodiac sign, you can actually see them like a train all coming around. The moon, for this moon phase, would be the engine car. And Pluto would be the caboose. Essentially, what I pick up from this is all of this, everything that we're feeling right now, everything that we're going through energetically, especially with this first quarter moon, changes the energy of the way that we've been approaching it. At least for me, for this channel and these readings. So generally, I'll tell you the first quarter moon is about initiation, taking action. You've planted the seeds, you've made a plan, now it's time to move forward. It's time to meet the universe, meet spirit, toe-to-toe, and say, this is what I set the intention for. This is the blueprint of this thing. And here I am taking the first step. I'm passing the ball to you and saying, I know this is right. This is what I want. This is what I'm going for. And you pass the ball to the universe, and you let the universe do its thing. And you go and you get yourself ready where you need to be. Whether, for me, for instance, I set intentions to begin a new book series, and it was Retrograde Guidebooks. Now, I have been intending on doing this since January, and when Venus went back direct and I started really digging deeply into retrograde planetary energy, considering I have, I want to say 5 planets plus my nodes in my chart are all retrograde. So it's a strong energy within my own personal natal chart. And because of that and a few other factors, I've always felt as though I just operate on a different frequency, a different level, however you want to define it. I've always said my brain is just wired differently. I understand things differently. I speak differently. I put pieces together in a completely different way. I just finished my Pluto Retrograde Guidebook, which, shameless self-plug, it's going to be linked down in the description box. And it is available in paperback as well as on the Kindle. And it breaks down all the energies through all the zodiac seasons, from Taurus season to Libra season, and then helps with a kind of closing out of the suggestion for moving forward through the post-shadow, pre-shadow crossover phase. That's all in the book. I don't want to get into that here. But when I was doing that, when I was writing that book, when I finally was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to do it. Initially, I was going to do it based off of the calendar months, because that's how we track time. In this day and age, that's how we track time. So that was the initiation that I took. And I found myself right around the eclipse and the new moon going, I can't touch the energy anymore. I don't understand it. Something isn't flowing properly for me. And because I was feeling all of that within that energy, it put me into kind of a stasis place, and I knew that I was on a time crunch. And so I was like, okay, spirit, planets, like, talk to me. What do we need to do? And my other project is something based off of how I've been living my life. And I don't want to get into too much detail because that one's a kind of top secret thing. But I've been living my life based off of the zodiac seasons. That's why you'll see a lot of tarot channels out there who will be like, what can you expect for this month? What can you expect for this month? For me, I go based off of when the tropical zodiac seasons change. And that is because I have learned that the reason why my communication style feels so different is because I communicate better through energy. And while I will admit energy is in everything and everywhere, we all have our own unique way of communicating with energy. More and more as I go through my life, I find myself realizing that I just seem to be wired for the ancients. And where that used to plague me, because you feel like a stranger in a strange world, born in the wrong time, born in the wrong country, born to the wrong family, to the wrong race, to the wrong belief system. And that can be a challenge. It can be a hindrance. Overcoming that can be a daunting task. Or you can say, you know what, why do I feel this way? What is it within me that makes me feel this way? That what is it and what is it within me that makes me feel that way is the essence of this first quarter moon in Leo. This is pulling and flowing with the energy of the Pluto retrograde. Retrogrades are so multifaceted. We think of it as like a shakeup of the energy. It just doesn't work quite properly. I have my own theory on that. It's in my books. But it's also known as being a review. It's seen as being a challenge. But as I worked through that Pluto retrograde book, as I tapped into different energies, as I allowed Pluto and allowed the planets to teach me, allowed Spirit to fill me so completely that some of the time I didn't even understand what it was that was coming through. And I had to simply, completely and utterly surrender and allow something higher than myself to just come in and work magic through my life, work magic through the flow of words from my brain and to my heart, to my fingers, to the page. It was as if I was completely filled by my higher self, by my soul, by my heart, by my emotions, by my understandings. And then it was as though I was in space with the planets. And I was looking at everything and looking at how it flows and how it works and how we can recognize the energies outside of ourselves, within ourselves, how we can see it, how we can harness it, how we can utilize it, how we can take it and mold it, because it's a blessing. 100%. It's a blessing. Pluto wants us to believe in magic, wants us to believe in transformation, and it's within our hearts and our souls that we will find what is stopping us from believing it and what it is that we want to see happen with our own magic. And I don't mean bippity boppity boo magic. I mean genuine working and flowing and creating and living and loving and laughing and crying and falling apart 100% side by side with Spirit. This first quarter moon carries embedded in it, because it's flowing from Pluto all the way through the planets, as though as soon as Pluto begins to shift away from them, you think about, I'm seeing a bow and arrow. You know, when a bow and arrow, you pull back on it and you release, and then the arrow flies forward. This is a common metaphor used in the spiritual community when you feel like life has kicked you and you're being held back and you are ready for a new beginning and you're ready for all of this. This is how Pluto's retrograde feels right now with this first quarter moon. As though all of that energy that I said has been building and building and building, all of those aspects that have occurred between the 29th and the 8th have been building and building and building, and the arrow is being pulled back. And as soon as he moves that 1 minute backwards on the zodiac wheel, it releases, and it slingshots. You guys know my boomerang. It slingshot around like the boomerang and hits every planet until it stops at the moon. And this first quarter moon is imbued with that. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun is about ourself. And the sun right now is sitting squashed in between Uranus and the North Node. All of that energy is coming in to this first quarter moon. We're going to see Leo, we're going to see Virgo, we're going to see 5th house, we're going to see 6th house, we're going to see the house of creativity, enjoyment, for some romance, children, your inner child, your creative expression, your theatrics. The mask and the face underneath it, all of that is going to be combined with Virgo. And I've been mocking my husband for like 3 days because I finally understand my progressed ascendant in Virgo. And so let me explain why this is funny. Because when this first quarter moon shifts from Leo and that 5th house energy of creative expression If you feel like, oh, I've got all this creative energy, I can feel it in me, I can feel all of this stuff, these dreams and these goals and these hopes and these wishes and these everything. I can feel it in me. What do I do? What do I do? That is when the shift from Virgo, if you remain open to this energy, when you start touching it, feeling it flow in, because Leo energy is some of the most uplifting, exciting, God, I'm ready to go, so heartfelt energies that I've worked with. And I don't say that because I'm a Leo rising. I don't say that because I'm a Leo moon. I say that because when I've never resonated with Leo until I wrote that Pluto Retrograde book. Never once have I resonated with Leo. I have had so much trouble because I feel so Cancerian. I feel so Cancerian. But when I tapped into that Leo energy, it was like seeing a whole other side of potential of who I am within, and seeing that I can temper that deep emotional water with this hopeful, bubbly, happy nature, and it's okay to do that. When I tapped into that and fully understood that, and then it shifted into Virgo, I learned this beautiful lesson that I get to teach you guys today. And that beautiful lesson is, when this first quarter moon shifts and we have all of that energy, and this includes the new moon in Taurus, this includes the partial solar eclipse, this includes all of that energy. Mercury's pre-shadow retrograde energy, where we're having some communication errors and we're able to recognize them, but it's also about gifts awakening more, energies coming in more, clairaudience. My clairaudience has been outrageous. My clairvoyance has been outrageous. It's about more than just not being able to get on social media. It's about learning how to communicate in the ways that spirit communicates. And spirit doesn't always communicate through technology or even through tarot cards sometimes. Like, spirit communicates how you communicate, whether that's music, books. Maybe you watch a TV show and something that one of the characters says just hits you. It just hits you, and you're there and you're like, wow, what is this? That's spirit. Now, when you are filled with this, oh, I've got so much creativity. What am I going to do? I have so much inspiration. I know what I want to do. I know how I want to share this. I want to have fun. And I just heard skip to my loo. Very, very, like, tapping into my inner child and my younger self here. But when you get all of that, you can go, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do this? What do I do? That's when the moon shifts into Virgo, and Virgo is practical application. Virgo is, you know what, this is what I want to do. I'm going to research it. I'm going to see here. I'm going to see here, 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 and here. I'm going to see all of the different ways that this has been done. I'm going to say, okay, has this worked? Has this worked? Has this worked? How has this worked? Maybe I can shift this here and this here, and then put it together, and boom! You have your own personal creative expression, but you're learning from anything and everything all around you. What you don't know within, you find outside of yourself every single time. And the reason why I mentioned my husband, and this is just simply because I want to share with you guys, we have these LED lights that are in our bedroom, and they are remote lights. So I have the remote next to the bed. So I'll hit the little power button, but I've had some issues with the power cord. So I will have to flip the switch of the light cord and then turn it back on in order to reactivate the remote. It's really more steps than I need to, but it's become a habit for me. I just saw 2022 on my clock, guys. I don't know. There's something new here. Anyway, when I did that, I hit the power button and the lights went a little haywire. So every time I'd hit the power button, it wouldn't shut off. It would flash off and on, off and on. And I did that about 3 times. And he goes, baby, you're going to give me a seizure. I'm going to develop epilepsy. And I said, you don't, what? You don't develop epilepsy? He goes, do you inherit that? Is it a genetic thing? I said, I think it can be. I'm not really sure, but I think it's just something that you have. And I said, you know, I'm not really sure how it works. And we're laying in bed, and it is, I think, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, because I was working late and he had something going on. So it was a late night for us. And he's laying there, and I just heard him grumble, and he's like, oh, I just have to know. So up he gets out of bed so he can Google it, and I'm laying in bed, and I am laughing so hard. I've got tears rolling down my face, and I look at him and I go, you are such a Virgo. It's outrageous, because that is the Virgo energy. When you question something, you question it to the point that you need to know. You need to know. You need to tap into it in one way, shape, or form. And it's not just about needing to know. Virgo is also about being emotionally invested with what they need to know, and then taking the tangible outside world information, melding it with the emotional investment, and building something to bring into the world that is practical to use. And all of this energy is here for us on the 8th and on the 8th and the 9th. Yep. I'm sorry. My brain just spazzed. I got distracted. I got a text message and I got distracted. My daughter's at the park and it's supposed to thunderstorm, and so I told her to text me if it starts lightning. But if you guys can't tell, my brain is kind of all over the place ever since I finished my book. I have, well, in all honesty, I've been kind of comatose for most of today. It wasn't until the very end of the day that I was like, oh, hey, I'm ready to read. I just got to like cleanse myself. And, you know, this isn't my normal setup. It's way more crowded than it normally is. I usually have, you know, my signifier objects for each of the signs. I don't have those this time. Granted, I am going to just pull collective cards to close this out. But I was going over in my head all the small things that I need to do, all the little steps that I need to do for this. And it was kind of like Spirit came in and was like, can you stop overcomplicating it? It's about the message. And I was literally shown this setup exactly. And I said, okay, all right, let's do this. Now that we've covered this, I am gonna, let's see. We're going to pop these over here just because that's what I was shown. So even though you can't see them, I've got the Leo card and the first quarter moon just kind of hanging out in between 2 selenite sticks over here. There's just something about, it's like a creative spiritual cleanse kind of thing. You want to review, and then you want to creatively cleanse yourself by building something practical, building something useful, building something that is you in essence. And it's going to be different for everyone. But before I pull cards, before I shuffle and pull cards to finish this message out with the divination portion, I was having a few visions over the past 2 days. I was also having very vivid dreams. So if any of you have been having vivid dreams and you remember the context of the dreams, something that Spirit wanted me to make sure that I came forward and talked about very strongly with you guys is, if those dreams have people in your life right now, people that you love. For instance, I had a very vivid dream about a situation with my 18-year-old daughter. And then I had a very vivid dream about a situation with my husband. If you're having dreams like this with people in your life, it's very important right now that you do not project onto them any kind of emotions that are brought up through this. There is this kind of emotional upheaval and cleanse going through the collective, a kind of shifting of things within the subconscious mind, especially with the amount of Pisces we have seen and will continue to see over the course of time. With all this Piscean energy, the 12th house energy, the Neptunian energy, and Jupiter sitting, at least right now while I'm making this, Jupiter is sitting at the 29th degree. Jupiter shifts into Aries on May 10th. So Jupiter is at this anaretic degree in Pisces. And I do not subscribe to that being a negative thing at all. I think the anaretic degree, the 29th degree, is one of the most magical placements ever. It is the placement of just, it's the bippity boppity boo placement. I just saw like poof, and then the fairy godmother, and then, you know, like all the fairy godmothers through Disney, and then Glenda the Good Witch, like just popped in my head, standing on top of Jupiter in the charts is what I just saw. But here are the number one thing that I saw was the Judgment card, and the Judgment card is Pluto. Pluto and the Judgment card. And I do talk about this in my book, so it doesn't surprise me. But what I saw was the Judgment card above, and then there was all of these little things below, but I couldn't really see them clearly. So I think it's just kind of this understanding that Pluto is asking us to make judgment calls in our lives, but to also hear the calling from spirit, from your higher self, from the higher realms, just hear in a new way. And I don't know how that's going to play out for everybody, but be open. Just be open. Just like walk down the street and you hear something and let it sink in, because it might trigger something. It could be something as random as you know, a child giggling that you hear when you're outside, followed up by birds chirping, and you're like, oh, it sounds like it's like the essence of a new baby. No, I'm not saying somebody's having a new baby. I'm saying it's the essence of a new baby. That's what it would sound like to me. And when I think about that, then I think about the Empress energy and Venus and creation and fertility. And I think about all the things that I'm working on. It's that natural progression of a sound that can trigger multiple things that fall down into what the core foundational point of it is. And then you see what it is that's there and how it makes you feel and how you can utilize it going forward. The other thing that I saw, and I'm going to pull the cards now because I just feel it. The other thing that I saw was a white car, almost like a Pontiac Grand Prix or Pontiac Grand Am, if anybody remembers what those are. They were very popular when I was a kid, and a Grand Prix was my first car, but it was seafoam green. Anyway, I saw a white Pontiac. I don't want to say that specifically, but that's kind of the make and model that it looked like. And it was going down a gravel road, and it had stopped, and somebody was doing the Chinese fire drill from driver into the passenger seat, but nobody, there wasn't anybody who got into the driver's seat, and I didn't get the essence of anybody else in it. So this is kind of like what I've been saying, like, okay, the whole saying, Jesus take the wheel, this is kind of that, but less religious. This is spirit saying, you know, let me take you forward. Let me show you. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we're going to take all of these. That's it. And that is really strongly what I'm feeling, is that, let me take you forward. Let me help you go here. And you know, those were the two prominent ones. If you have one of those, if you've got that make and model of car and it's white, like, if you're here, pay attention. That's my best advice. So let's take a look at the cards here. We have the Father of Pentacles, the Devil. That doesn't surprise me at all. Don't panic. Judgment. Oh, you guys. Okay. And the Two of Cups. All right. You want to know what's funny? Judgment. I just told you. Judgment. That's Pluto. The Devil is Capricorn, just where Pluto is. Father of Pentacles. I can't remember specifically if it's associated with a specific zodiac sign in particular. It could be Virgo, actually. But it's earth energy. So, you know, we've got Virgo. But I told you I was talking about emotions. I was talking about working hand in hand with spirit. That's really what this Two of Cups signifies. This is, to me, very much saying we want to take a look at the things that work, the things that don't work. We need to think about tradition and standards and belief systems and do all that internal junk kind of. I don't do cars, but I've been watching a lot of Grey's Anatomy, and when George's dad dies in season 3, Callie talks to his brothers by saying, you know, it's like there's junk in the engine and it starts spreading through all the fuel lines and kind of clogging it up. And George's dad has a heart issue, and she said it's like the car had blown a gasket before all the other damage. And then they finally understand. This is that mercurial, learning how to speak in a new language kind of thing. But the Father of Pentacles is I know what I have done. I know how it has been done, and I'm going to stick with this because look at everything it's built me. It's also about patience. It's about patience and understanding and realizing. The Two of Cups is very, very much a harmonious card. So to me, this is more about saying, like, you want to find that practicality that I was talking about and bridge those energies together and really bring it together, harmonize it in a new way. And some of you may feel like, I can't do what I want to do. I want to do this and I want to do that, but I can't. Make a decision. Make a decision that you're going to stop saying, I can't, I won't, it's not possible. Make a decision to believe in magic here. Because the choice to not believe in magic is quite literally what brought the concept of the devil into the world in the first place. I don't want to believe in magic. I don't want to believe in something that I can't see or control. So I am going to create an antagonist to move against it. And that's the structure we're going to go with. And now there's a judgment call. And it's Pluto saying, choose to blend the old with the new. Blend the heart with the soul. Blend the physical with the material, the physical with the spiritual, and bring that into the material. And I know it may sound backwards, but to me, when I think physical world, I think of everything around me. And when I think of the material world, I think of what I can create with the things that I have around me. For instance, this shelf or table, it's my physical world. These cards are my physical world. The stones are my physical world. Now, putting them together this way, I have energies coming in from both sides of the Super 7, Super 8 crystals, hitting the the celestite crystals here and dispersing, because that's the intention set there, to disperse it out. Now I'm looking at these cards and I'm getting messages from them, and I'm dispersing it out into into words, into me sharing my voice, into these messages. That is taking the physical and the spiritual and melding them together and making them material. How you choose to do it in your life, you may have watercolors and Crayola markers and one canvas left, and say, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? Make something with it and see what happens. Make something with it and see what happens. You may think that it's so childish and I can't do it and whatever, but you know what? When we were kids, we would create from nothing. It wouldn't matter whether anybody cared. We would just make it, and there it would be. And we didn't hold ourselves back or shy away from it. We just created to create because it brought us enjoyment. And now you can take all of that energy from your inner child and the way you used to do it, and you can transform it into something new. The Virgo energy mixed with this moon is just, I love it. I love it so much. Okay. The Beaver, which is, the Beaver is all about building and the home and diligence and commitment. You know, a Beaver builds its home every step of the way. It cuts the trees down. It uses its own mouth to shape the logs that it needs, to trim things down, and then it uses its tail to beat them into place. So we've got the whale and the snake, and it builds its home. And it builds its home in a place that no reasonable person is going to build it, but a beaver will, because a beaver knows how. And so this is about, you may feel as though you're trying to build something in a very inhospitable environment. It's like trying to take off on YouTube all of a sudden. It seems like a huge task, but it really isn't. You build because you know how to build. You build based off of what you know is right to build. And the whale is that ancient energy. So the whale and the devil is really asking us to tap more into the ancient roots, to tap into the things that really resonate with us, and to understand that nothing within us or nothing within the world is here and inherently bad. There's some like crazy stuff going on. Yeah, there is some really emotionally damaging things that we can see and witness, but it's important that when we engage with that, to remember that there are lessons here. There are things we can learn and things we can harness and choices that we can make differently from what we see out there that does not feel right, that does not look right, that does not sound right. We can do something about it. Each and every one of us. One person changing in their world creates a ripple effect out. You create a ripple effect every time you smile at someone, some stranger on the street. Every time that I'm seeing somebody who has had a journal and they haven't written in it and they've been staring at it and they're going, I don't have the words. Take a pen and write hi. You just created a ripple effect by doing that, because you just engaged yourself in conversation in a new way. There are small things like that that you can find where when you sing your own unique song, you overcome all of those fears and doubts and worries, and you step into a new place, a peaceful place where you know the truth and you know what is right. So we have the snake as well and the panther, and I'm actually seeing these together very similarly as I'm seeing the Judgment and the Two of Cups together, which this is 20 and 2. So, I mean, we are in the year 2022, and they both reduce to a 2, and 2 is about partnership, union, balance. But it's also about duality and accepting it. We are about to go into Gemini season really soon, guys. But the snake, if you see, the snake is eating its tail, and in the middle is the flower of life. And this is about the way that we have to understand the way that life flows is every ending is a beginning. Every beginning is an ending. Every closed door has an open window. Every missed opportunity has a new opportunity attached to it. There is never any end. There is never any end. There's no end to anything. There is a shift, a change, a blessing, always wrapped around that. And life will always continue moving in this manner. It is infinite, just as you are infinite. The flower of life in the middle is saying that life will always ebb and flow, but it will always end and begin. There is no end. And so it's okay to shed the skin of something, or to release something, or to embrace being at the point of an ending and a beginning. It's okay to embrace continually starting over. It's okay to embrace being a new you in any and every interaction. It's okay to do that, because that's the nature of the beast, guys. That's the nature of it. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. We're here to grow. We're here to change, which means that we're here to shed every skin that we feel we have outgrown. And the panther is letting you know you are divinely protected. The panther can see in the night and is fiercely protective and is very, very deep and wise. But the panther knows. It just knows. I love the panther personally, but the panther was one of those that announced itself to me. You may also feel called to jaguars. They're, I'm pretty sure, pretty much the same animal. But the panther is about knowing that in the depths of the darkness, there is a protection. And even though there may be something that seems like it is snarling at you, that it is baring its teeth at you, it isn't meant to bring fear. It isn't meant to harm you. It's meant to help you understand what matters and where you want to protect what matters and how you can go about protecting it, and understanding that what you do and how you are, and when you work with spirit and when you come into this collaborative union with the universe, with spirit, that it's 100% protected and there isn't a single person who can knock it down. You just keep focusing on what is right for you, because in that action is where you find your balance and your harmony. And so we've got the Ocean is the first card. The Mask and the Ring. I mean, do I need to say anything more? Oh, okay. You know, it's funny. I'm sorry, I moved away from my mic. It's funny, I was not going to show you the back of the decks of any of them. And then I glanced at the back of the deck for the archetype guidebook, and I looked at it and I went, I feel like I should mention it. And then I was like, no, I didn't with the other ones. Spirit has a funny way of working, because it quite literally fell out of my hands and onto the floor, and then I just saw 44:11 on my clock. And so we have the River. Now, I have not worked with the Ring a whole lot, but I mean, if you caught my last video, this is again bringing me back to the Lord of the Rings. The Ocean to me is about the depths of the psyche. It's about what's hidden beneath the surface, and that's what I was talking about with that Pisces energy and the 12th house, and really getting into our subconscious mind. I mean, I just mentioned the mask and the person underneath it. The River is about being in the flow state. So in reality, the archetype cards here are just Spirit's way of confirming this message for you, because some of you may be resisting it. You may be doubting yourself more than anything. And quite literally, guys, my electricity just flickered throughout my house. And somehow my camera is still rolling. But my lights just flickered. I don't know if you guys could see that, but I definitely saw it with everything. So this is some powerful energy. And I know I've been saying that a lot with the moons, but it always feels powerful to me when I tap into the heavens and into the heavenly bodies, because they carry such deep and profound wisdom and energy when we learn how to work with them. This is about you learning how to work with yourself, learning where it is within you that you feel as though you have to put a mask on and hide away from the world, where it is that you feel like you can be your truest self, where your commitment lies to yourself, and the circular nature of all things, and knowing that even if something feels like it's ending, there will be a new beginning. And if you hold on to that hope, that positivity, and you let yourself flow with it and let yourself move with this energy, let yourself be led, it will change. The cycles will continue, but your understanding of them, your growth through them will become easier. You'll learn what masks are meant to be worn, how you're meant to present yourself in order to move in this world. But you'll also know that any mask you put on, your true self will always shine when you move from the heart and from the soul. Take some time on the 8th and the 9th. First of all, happy Mother's Day to all my moms out there. I love you. But take some time during it, even beforehand, and let yourself review, but let yourself feel the energies, because they're trying to teach you. They're trying to help. And if you can hear them and allow yourself to feel through it, you will start to learn how to recognize the connection and the lessons and the growth and the creativity. Okay, everybody. You know how my collective readings can go. They can get a little bit long, but this was really powerful and really important. And I put myself aside when I sit here, because I very much want spirit, the planets, the cosmos, the angels, the archangels, the guides, messengers. I want them to flow through me for you, because I am here to help. I am here to serve. That is why I'm here for this channel, because it fills me with so much gratitude. So I genuinely am so thankful for all of the energies, for all of you being here, for being in this world and continuing to be such beautiful lights in the world. Thank you so much. Thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection here today. Thank you to Spirit for my gifts that I am able to share with the world. And thank you so much to the planets for being my teachers, for being my professors, for being my guides, for teaching me some of the deepest lessons of my life and helping me to find my path. Thank you to my viewers, to you guys, for being beside me through it, for being a community with me. I love you guys, and I am always thrilled to welcome more. I am always thrilled to be here with you, to hear your messages and get your responses and to read for you. So thank you very much. I am ever so grateful. It truly fills my heart with happiness. So thank you. If this video resonated, you guys know the drill. There's the like button, the share button, there's the subscribe button, and there's the little notification bell, the ding, 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 that you can hit and get notified when my new videos come up. If my videos become a little bit more sporadic, don't be alarmed. I have 2 more guidebooks to get out. One, definitely I will get Saturn's out before the beginning of June. I will hopefully get Neptune's out in that first to middle part of June. And then, so because I'm working on these, I'm channeling a lot of energy. So the videos may be more sporadic, but I will never, I can't walk away from this, because it just makes me so happy to sit here and do this with you guys. So don't be alarmed. And if you guys have any requests, you guys know how to get a hold of me. In the description box, I am going to kind of clean things up and narrow things down. There's still going to be the Eclipse link or coupon code with the link to my program, Breaking Boundaries, Finding Freedom. It is a program that helps unlock your own inner creativity through healing And it literally is me tapping in and using my Leo and Virgo energy. I just didn't understand it until recently that that's the energy I was using. But there is that link down there. It is 75% off for you guys until June. That is $49.50. It is a great deal because it's a $200 program. And it is truly life-changing. And if anybody wants to hear from somebody, Jessie is actually running my program right now. And I am getting massive feedback from her, which always makes me giggle and cry simultaneously. I'm going to put my author link to Amazon instead of just doing links separately for all my books. That gets to be too long. So I'm going to put just the author link. You can click that. It'll take you to my author page on Amazon, and then you can select whatever book you are interested in taking a look at. So that will be down in the description box. And of course, as always, there are my socials and links to book readings with me and links to donate if you are so inclined. As always, I am so grateful for anybody and everybody who donates. You guys are rock stars and help finance the books and the, all of the rights and everything, the copyright stuff that I need for these books. So, as well as this channel. You guys are amazing, and I am ever so grateful as always. But you need to know that there is somebody in the world who is eternally grateful for you, even if we've never met. I am eternally grateful for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys, go kick ass with this first quarter moon. I believe in you all. I cannot wait to see what happens, what comes of all of this, and how your lives grow and change. So thank you again. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I will see you all again next time. Mwah. Bye.